Alright everyone, the other day I got suspended temporarily from Twitter, but it's funny because it only came a couple of hours before I went to bed anyway, so by the time I got up the suspension was over. Anyway, the reason why, link in the description, you can see it for yourself, was basically saying that Kyle Rittenhouse was right and was defending himself. And he was. I've got video footage of the whole fucking incident. I can see the muzzle flash 10 yards to the side. I can see him, attempting to flee. He's being shot at and chased by 3 individuals, all 3 of which are, by the way, convicted felons, one of which was carrying illegally a firearm at the time, somehow is still, by the way, making speeches and shit and not in jail. Felons are not allowed to carry deadly weapons of that kind. Why is this individual that got his arm blown half off not in a jail cell right now? He's been treated. He's out of the hospital. He's well enough to go walking around. Why haven't they arrested the fucker? He broke the law on camera. We've got it documented. We've got proof. Why haven't they dragged him into the hooskow on federal weapons charges? Anyway, I've got footage of the whole thing from start to finish. Kyle Rittenhouse walks up to a dumpster that Antifa has lit on fire within proximity to a bunch of gas pumps. About the worst goddamn idea you can possibly have. He's volunteering for the fire department. He does his duty. He grabs a fire extinguisher, he puts it out. He's spent the last few hours delivering medical aid to people that are protesting. Not exactly a violent behavior. By the way, the firearm came from within the state of Wisconsin to begin with, so even if you're looking at charges because he was under 18, you're not looking at trafficking charges. You're not looking at any federal charge for taking a weapon across state lines for any ill intent, because it didn't go across state lines. So there's one charge of the 5 that's definitely he'll be found not guilty of. I think that they overcharged him with several counts of murder and one of attempted. The attempted murder doesn't count. The person was a felon holding an illegal weapon and brandishing it at the time. So he'll be found not guilty on that charge. As far as the people he killed, both of them were attacking him. He had already attempted to retreat. In Wisconsin, there's a duty to retreat if you're out in a public area. It's not like if you're on your own property. It's actually the only state in which there's a duty to retreat, kind of. By the way, it's a little bit dubious. On your own property is, ironically, Vermont. The state with the least overall gun control in the country also has the most lax ability to defend oneself even on one's own property. Rittenhouse puts out the fire. People get angry. They start approaching him. He goes off in the other direction. Somebody fires a shot. He runs. 3 people follow him. Now, what I think happened is that when the first shot was fired, I think that these individuals mistakenly believed, and honestly, an honest mistake, technically, they believed Rittenhouse had fired the shot because he was the one with a visible weapon. The person off to the side, where you see the muzzle flash in the footage that we've all seen from the New York Times, by the way, was over by some crates and dumpsters or something, half hidden. They thought Rittenhouse had fired a shot. They probably thought he'd just killed someone. Technically speaking, they thought they were justified. The problem is, of course, Rittenhouse had not yet fired a shot. Initially, when we got this story in the first days, the initial take was Kyle Rittenhouse had been defending a business, had shot a looter. He was pursued because he shot unjustifiably, or at least these people thought, and therefore he's responsible. We know that's not the case, though. We've got witness statements and everything else under the sun that'll be compiled and put into this case, and the defense, Lynn Wood, I'm sure will be able to get him exonerated on at least 4 of the 5 charges. The only charge that might stick is that he was in illegal possession of a weapon. It's a misdemeanor! It's not even a felony charge! He'll get time served, if anything. He won't have a felony on his record. He'll be 18 years old, and he'll be a superstar among right-wing groups. Oh, he'll have plenty of money. Don't worry about it. He'll be able to civilly sue all of these legacy media outlets calling him a murderer, saying that he's a terrorist, claiming that he trafficked weapons. He objectively did not traffic weapons. It is defamatory in nature for any of these edifices to have said so. None of them, as far as I know, to my knowledge, have retracted. He's going to sue them Sandman style with Lynn Wood as soon as he gets out of the hooskow, and he'll win. He's going to be a millionaire just like Nick Sandman because the legacy media decided to report on the story in objective terms before it knew what had happened. If they had looked at the video footage, please, next time, when you get a story before your editorial board, and it's really juicy, 17-year-old killed several people in a riot. Wow, this is great. Far-right violence. That really tickles people's gonads. Why don't you actually Google it? Look it up on fucking YouTube and see what people have taken on their smartphones, because there's going to be 5 to 10 angles of it in any given instance. Of course it's been recorded. We can see it for ourselves. A shot's fired, he's running, people chase him, he falls down, a person tries to grab his weapon. If I'm in this situation, I'm exercising my duty to retreat, I am no longer capable of retreating because I'm being chased and someone's now got a hold of my rifle, they're going to get shot. And it's justifiable. That is self-defense. A second person attempts to attack him, is shot and killed. Justifiable self-defense. A third person not only attacks him, but has pulled out a weapon at the time that he's not even legally allowed to be carrying. He gets shot non-lethally in the arm. Self-defense. The only one of the 5 charges that can even feasibly stick is the fact that he possessed the weapon while under 18, and even that is potentially in a gray area, because some of the literature suggests that you only have to be 16. It's not entirely clear. I like how they were trying to claim it was an SBR, and therefore that's going to exacerbate the charges further. Again, that's not even in the charges that we're seeing. What are you talking about? I see all sorts of rampant speculation about how terrible Rittenhouse supposedly is. Like they said, well, he beat up girls. I don't have any proof of that. I've got footage that looks like it might be him attacking someone who just attacked his sister, defending her. Again, that's self-defense, and that's a bunch of high schoolers in a brawl. It has nothing to do with the situation in Kenosha. It's not going to be allowed as evidence of anything. Evidence will be limited. Evidence will be limited. We've got footage of the whole fucking event for Twitter to step on its own dick, thinking that it glorifies violence to point out that I can objectively state, based on what I'm seeing, that Kyle Rittenhouse acted heroically, if not just properly, even heroically in the situation, by maintaining his cool, not shooting bystanders, landing all of his shots, doing an extremely good job the entire day, putting out fires and delivering medical aid, while being defamed by everyone as though he went there with a vengeance looking to murder leftists. Yeah, I think he's completely justified. Seems like a good kid to me. It would be nice if more people were to defend themselves, number one, were to act as he did with so much cool, with so much self-restraint. Of course, he didn't do anything wrong for Twitter to suspend someone's account based on that. Like when, I guess Fairbanks said there, Cassandra Fairbanks had said Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. She got suspended too. How does that glorify violence? It's glorifying self-defense. The violent ones are the ones using GoFundMe to grift right now, including that idiot felon who should be in a jail cell for having an illegal weapon. He objectively, observably, on film, was holding a handgun at the time. He is a felon. Felons are not allowed to have handguns. We're talking about illegal weapons charges for Kyle Rittenhouse. Why aren't we having a conversation about the fact that this felon had an illegal weapon? What's the charge, by the way, for that? 2 years in prison? 5 years? Especially when it's attempted murder. You're running up on a 17-year-old kid, aiming your gun at them. He should be the one on attempted murder charges. He should be in jail for the rest of his life. Apparently, he's free to wander around and say whatever defamatory bullshit he wants. He's even hailed as a hero by GoFundMe. They shared out his fucking fundraiser. Totally unacceptable. That's about all. Peace out.